Hello everyone, I'm Greek Luke, thank you for joining me, and welcome back to episode 120 of Factorio with the C block mod, where we are trying to work on processing our geodes, because, well, we are backed up, and our, what exactly, silver production, I think, is affected by it. So yeah, we need to figure this out, how to design that. Between episodes, I did do a little bit of landfilling until I ran out of landfill at least. And I also just connected all of these setups to the sulfuric wastewater pipe. Hopefully I didn't make too many mistakes there, but we shall see. And yeah, that's about it. So let's work on getting this set up. Just to sum up, we have 6 different geode types coming in. We're just expecting a full build of each. And we will have 6 belts of crystal dust to process and 6 belts of crushed stone to process from that. The crushed stone we're just trying to process from the start. And I think I'm just gonna remove this for a bit and just expect to have all of the crystal dust on belts at the sides. I know I said we had 6 belts, but this is only half of the setup, so we just have 3 belts here. We will need to balance these somehow, I guess. Or maybe we need to pair them up, as I have been talking about earlier. Because the blue geodes will only produce half a belt, but then the teal will produce 1.5. So those two together will populate 2 belts. And I think we can figure that out without too much trouble. The crushed stone, though, we are trying to just liquefy locally, or as close to the source as possible, so don't need 6 more belts. And I guess we can just do something like this. I think it will be easier if we just have the output facing each other. And I think I said in the last episode that these would have enough water from... Wait, what? I don't even remember what I said, but I think I was calculating with too little water in the last episode. Because I said that this could only take 100 water per second. Which is correct, but the machine has a crafting speed of 2.25, so it can take 225 water per second. And that is if we utilize it as at the max at least. So that would be a lot more than 2 groundwater bores. Basically 4 instead. But that would also be what is needed with only 4 of these. And currently we have 2 for just 1/6 of this. Unless we use these for both sides, but I'm not sure we want to do that. So we're probably gonna end up doing this with 2 liquefiers in the middle. At least that is the thought for now. And I'm not sure what we're doing with this yet. So if we have 6 times this, then we have 24 of these. 60 times 24 is a lot more than 900 water. So it should be fine. We need the stone in here. And maybe we need more input or output from these. I'm not entirely sure about that yet though, but we have the space, so these can just be... Will this be good? This one is good, but I don't think this one will be fine with this. No. sucks a little bit, but we can just duplicate it like that. And maybe we need more output, but we should still have the space for power here, so that is fine, I think. And we probably need to prepare for power out here as well. Maybe we should go for straight lines. Put it out here. That seems nice. And this is somewhat tileable, but we might need that space for pipes and stuff anyway. At least I think so. Will these two be able to handle the maximum possible output, so 22.5 per second? One can handle 22.5 per second, so yeah, that should be plenty actually. Good. If we wanted to just have one of these in the middle instead of duplicating them, would we have enough water still? Then we would have, what, 6 times this? $24 times, no wait, what? I can't do any calculations right now. 4 by 3, right? Yes, because we would have this set up 3 times. So that's 12 of these by 60 per second. That's 720, so that would not be enough water if we ended up doing something like that. How about if we actually moved this out and just added a little bit more? Then we have 6 by 3, 18 by 60. I have a calculator in here, let's use that. That is more than 900. But would it be possible for us to have the 2 recipe? Oh, there's only one recipe that does a lot. For some reason I thought there were 2 recipes doing a lot of everything, like with the crystal dust. But for the crust stone it's only 1, okay. And then 1 that does very little. Sure. Would these 2 be able to handle 22.5 and 15? And that is a yes, because one of them could handle 22.5. At least with enough water. So not entirely, but we could just pair it up with one that produces 7.5, I guess. So we have 30 per second divided on 2, so each should take 15 per second. That is 150 water per second. And 6, 120, or 60, 120, 180, that's more than 150, so that should be good. Okay. These can't reach anymore though, so we would have to move them out here or something. Something like that should work. And we can still put more output in here if we want to. Okay. Now all of this of course needs to be clarified. And we're producing something like 300. Yeah, actually that could possibly be connected with all of the setups. One pipe should be able to handle 900. So we could put it all in pipes and clarify it at the back end. And then have all of the crystal just go to the front end and then handle that there. Crystallize it. Oh, liquefy it, sorry. So we should be able to connect these somehow. And we can just alternate which side. That seems good. Now, of course, we need the crystal dust belts to be perfectly balanced as well. So a setup like this that doesn't output a lot doesn't matter too much. But I think we should still put on to two belts, because that is easier to balance them. Something like that. And then these should, of course, balance by putting on the near side instead. So we will put 1/4 of a belt on each of these. And then we will balance that with a setup that produces 3/4. Oh, 1.5 belts, so 3/4 onto each belt. That seems fine. Okay, is that also possible while still having these two across from each other? Yes. That should be possible. Those are just at the end or something. I think this all should be possible. It's just a big puzzle. So yellow should go next to teal or green. And those are both fine with the stone. So yeah, let's try and scale this up a little bit for the other colors here. So all of this is moved back. The belt should, or pipe should be able to handle that. And we're getting awful close to those worms. Let's see if we can handle that first. That's gonna cost some turrets, I think. Unless we can do it in here without dying. Let's see, I guess. That went pretty well, to be honest. Better than expected. No turrets lost. And I didn't even die. I don't want to care about that right now. So these pipes won't be able to reach each other. I guess that is the first problem. Actually have a good amount of space in here we could try and utilize for something. But maybe that just makes things harder to manage. I don't know. We can't really get this in here anyway. So we would need 2 more spaces in between here. Unless we could do something like this. That should still work, right? And now I want to move this in here, but let's not do that. Let's get something that works first of all, and then we can worry about prettiness afterwards. So that is these 2 done, and we can just paste it over here, I guess. So I said teal or green, I think. And then we need something that is a neutral full belt, like purple, I guess. Sure. We just need to make sure that purple is across from yellow then, and everything should be good. So these 2 are paired up for 2 full belts, yes. This should be across from this then. The reds. I might be putting too much thought into this, but let's hope it is all good. There's of course the problem that these need to be alternated. Go here instead. And then this can go to a clarifier. Oops. Somewhere. Or 6 of them. I'm sure I'm missing a lot of stuff here, but whatever. Let's move on. So we need it across from red, right? Yes. Let's just copy this part actually. Of course we have more space for water over here. I guess we're just happy about that and accept it. We could also try and make everything a little bit more symmetrical by removing these extra side ones. We still have 3 for all of them. Sure, let's do this for now at least. And I'm out of crushes. Good thing we have some more up here. Good, and across from teal, which produces a lot of the crystal dust. We need something else that produces a lot of crystal dust, which is green. And then a neutral thingy. Which is orange, I guess. Then these 2 are also matched up. Or yellow, I guess, not orange. Do we have all 6 here? I think so, and I hope I have put them all in the correct spots. This should all be good. Again, we need to make 2 belts out of this. They should be correctly balanced. And then there are these. That makes 1 belt total, and that belt is output onto here. we should probably put that out here. On its own belt. And since those belts should already be balanced by the inserters, this should be fine, I think. I hope so, at least. Let's have a look at our clarifiers then. It isn't really a problem, since, well, we have a lot of space for this. And, well, we could try and make it a little bit shorter somehow. Or we could just do this. Of course, I'm thinking about trying to optimize this. Why wouldn't I? So this is actually less space. Let's do that for now, until I find out that I made a big mistake. These should still be finely balanced, right? Yes. So we should have 6 belts coming out here. Or liquefaction. And that part at least should be pretty easy, I think. Let's hope so. So we need 12 machines for it. That's 2 per belt. And if we just try to save a little bit of space here. It would annoy me a little bit if this broke outside the footprint, and since we need both an input and an output for this, then it would. Could of course rotate these 90 degrees, or we could try to get it in here, or we could try to underground. But we also need these belts as input, of course. And they need to get past all of this. Well, then we can actually go wider, of course. We just need to make sure that we can get these in. So maybe we don't need to do too much here. If we want these to be next to each other. You cannot do a lot to get the belts under that. This would be fine, but we can't connect these to anything else then. Even if we did underground pipes. Unless, of course, we use red underground, maybe. But that would just help a little bit, because then we can't put these right next to each other still. We would need spaces in between to have the underground belt coming up. So it would be nice to have them in here. And I'm sure there's some way to do this in a good way. This just needs to be split into 2 liquefiers. How hard can that be? Currently pretty hard when you try to optimize your space usage. So in the end we want a pipe coming out with this stuff. And to be honest, to start with, we're probably just clarifying that. That's 12, right? Yes. So that is what we want to end up with, I guess. And we should have the space if we move these out. Of course, that means these are pushed forward. Is there no way to fix that? What if this didn't need to be here? We do need the pipe, of course. Could we load this fast enough into these 2 machines? And we still need to connect that, of course. So with 1 inserter, can we load half a belt in here? Can probably with a fast inserter. Also, can we maybe research bigger stack sizes? Stack inserter capacity, of course. Still need power as well. So many problems. Could try and do all of this in between these, of course. But that is not what this is set up for. Because this middle part will produce, what, 3 belts in total. Whereas this only produces 1 belt in total. So it would at least need to be different sizes. This is just a lot simpler if I didn't have to fix the belts. This won't power everything. Do have the space in here, of course. Guess this would actually become better if we had the space in here for the inserters. Would this actually work? I think so. These don't even need to be there if we're powering stuff in here anyway. I think this could work, so let's just try it, I guess. It is pretty dang tough to figure all this out without seeing it running. And of course these need to be angled somehow, but... And we only need not those, but the other sets. So here and here. At least if we start using stack inserters. Let's just continue this upgrade as far as we can. So that should all work now, I think. Again, we need to angle stuff, but... And of course, we only need some of these half the way. So this gets emptied out after these. I think that should be fine, because this will be taken from there and putting in there. At least that uses a little bit less belt. This could of course do the same thing, but we'll take from here instead. So I like the idea of them just doing it like this. And these need to be somehow angled. And oh boy, this needs to do a lot with not that great of an angle. Is there any way to help this? Probably not. Let's just finish this up and see how it goes. Of course, we won't actually have full belts of every geotype coming in. And this needs to be the same. I think this is the full basic setup at least. We will still need to put some clarifiers for the slurry. At least this is a start. And of course we need to put some sulfuric acid in. But let's get this put down first. So many bills. Come on. And well, I guess we need to remove this as well. And we can then line up against this stuff. And actually we can go further forward than that. Somewhere around here, unless we want to have space for the clarifiers. In which case we need to move in further. And if we just line some of these up first then. Just try to do it in the middle of where we are putting everything. We would need 6, so we need twice this amount. Hopefully we can fit that in. Should be possible. I think this could just go right here. So this input could go up here. This could move up, and then we can do the same thing below. Could do this. Of course, we only want to do this if we have no overflow. Let's move those one tile further. Have the input still, and we will just put 6 overflow valves here. I'm not sure why I switched away from the robots, but this is fine, I think. But unfortunately, that's all we have time for in this episode, so thank you all for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.